Now we get to test our process. Are you ready for that? I hope so. What we're going to be doing is a 5-step process to test our purchase to pay or procure to pay or P2P configuration. What do you think we're going to start with? We'll start with a purchase requisition. We'll create one using all the parameters and the rules and the configuration of enterprise structure that we set up in this series of exercises. Next, we're going to create a purchase order, which creates that contract, I guess you could say, with the vendor. Then we're going to create a goods receipt where we receive in those items into the inventory of the company. We'll receive the invoice from the customer, from the vendor at that point, and then we'll pay the vendor. So which of those has accounting related aspects? If you said the last three, you're right. There are accounting related aspects at goods receipt, at receiving the invoice, and at the payment of the vendor. But the purchase requisition and purchase order, although they will eventually become accounting entries, they are not accounting entries at this point. We'll create the purchase requisition, which is really a request to procure a certain amount of material or services. And these are usually internal requests. In this particular case, we're going to be putting in a purchase requisition for trading goods. We're going to be buying 50 elbow pads, 50 road helmets, 50 repair kits, 50 off-road helmets, and 50 knee pads. So guess what? If you forgot to set up your materials in the previous exercise, you won't be able to create the purchase requisition. This is where there's a lot of troubleshooting that happens within the SAP system. Now, where do you think we're going to create transactions? If you said the SAP main menu, you're exactly right. We're going to create these in the SAP main menu, not in the customizing, because this is where the entries happen. We've got logistics. We're going to go into logistics, materials management. We're going to go into purchasing, which is the first one, purchase requisition, and we're going to create. Now you can save that if you want to. And we can close this side if we'd like, or we can also keep it there. Either way is fine. And in the create requisition screen, we're going to enter in this information. Now, this is where some students freak out because we need to enter the item overview so we can enter some information, and we may also need to enter or open up the header tab. So these are the ways that you do that, is by clicking on these, and it will help you look at the different information here. So in the material, we need to put in the material, which is right here in material. We're going to put in EPAD, and you may have to look this up. And we're going to put in EPAD and our IDs for the quantity. Remember, we said 50. For the delivery date, now don't enter the date that I'm putting in here. Enter your date, because I'm doing this in 2017 in March, and this delivery date is actually in spring break of the year that we're here. The plant, we need to go in and put in our DC Miami plant, which is Miami 88, or whatever your number is. And the storage location is for your trading goods. And you're going to have to look up for your Miami plant and the storage location, I think, is let's see, plant is Miami. I'm trying to see if there's an easier way to do this. We need to go into Miami 88 or whatever your number is. I'm getting there. And it should be TG and your last 2 digits of your ID. The next one we're going to do is our road helmet, which is RHMT. We're also going to do a quantity of 50. We're also going to do 1 week from today, so F4, and a week from today. This one is our Miami plant, so Miami and the last 2 digits. This is also the trading goods, so we looked that up. It's TG88. Next, we're going to go and do the repair kit, which is our kit 1088. Oops. It's asking me to enter the plant because I clicked enter. Oopsie daisy. I put this in. So 315. Then I want to put in Miami. And we want to put in the storage location of TG. Ugh, it's not letting me put it in. Now it did. Trading goods 88. Next, we're going to go in and put in the off-road helmet, which is OHMT 10 and last 2 digits of that ID, of your ID. Put in a week from today. I can't believe I said oopsie daisy before. That's kind of weird. Anyway, so we've got MI88 and then TG88. Okay. And then we've got the knee pads, which is KPAD 10 and last 2 digits of the ID. Quantity is also 50. Delivery date MI88, TG88. And we should have everything in here. And we should be able to click on the save button and you should get a message. Now you really want to write this one down because this is testing our system. You want to write down purchase requisition number 001. And let's see how many zeros are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 56 created. Yours will be different than mine. If you don't get something here, guess what? You did something wrong. So you'll have to go back and you'll have to find out what happened. So that can be a problem. We're going to get back to the SAP main menu. And now we're going to create the purchase order from this purchase requisition. Now that purchase order, as I mentioned before, creates kind of like a contract between your company as the buyer and a seller, which is the vendor. It increases the type of what we want to buy, the quantities, and agreed on prices for those products or the services, and what that seller will provide to the buyer. Where do you think we're going to create that? Well, remember, transactions are happening in the SAP main menu, so that's exactly where we're going to do that. We're going to go into logistics, materials management, purchasing. We're going to go into purchase order, create, vendor supplying plant known. I'm going to add that to favorites. And we're going to add the document overview on. Click on the select variant. It's so pretty. It's all colorful. And then we're going to click on My Purchase Requisitions. There it is. And that'll pull up My Purchase Requisitions. Isn't that nice? They come up right here on the side. Kind of gives you a little bit of a dashboard feel. In the document overview, we're going to, of the create purchase order, click on your purchase order requisition number right here and click on adopt. And you can see that that pulled in. Now it pulled in, but it also is saying, give us your purchasing organization, which we didn't enter before. we need to go find our purchasing organization, which is US 88 is mine, but yours will be a different number. Now we're going to enter in the price information. Now, I think the first time you enter the prices, or you enter in a purchase requisition, you have to enter in this information. Let's see, how do I get into this? The dollar amount. So I need to get into, oh yeah, this is where I'm trying to go. The item overview, that's why I couldn't find anything. So we need to go into elbow pads, and that's going to be $37.50. The currency did not pull in either. That should be USD. You may have to just enter it in. And then make sure you're entering these in the right place that they came in appropriately. The road helmet is $25. The repair kit is $16. The off-road helmet is $25. The knee pad is $37.50. We can click on the green check mark. It's saying to enter a vendor. Did I miss that? Oh yes, I did miss the vendor. So I'm supposed to put in my Olympic gear. So you guys were probably screaming at me, help, you need to get this in there. And I didn't. So I need to find my Olympic gear that I created, which is the vendor. If you remember, we created that one earlier. In the material master data, that was vendor 101088. Now let's try this. You're going to then get a message that says, can delivery be met? Don't worry about that, because that's just a yellow message. It's just a warning. It's not going to hold you back. So let's look at the system messages. Oh yeah, it's just saying delivery can be met, yes or no. And we don't care about that because we know that it can be met because we entered it in and we know. So we're going to click save, and you should get a message that says standard PO created under the number 450. Let's see how many zeros that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you want to write that down because that's going to be very important for some of our other steps. And we're going to get back to the SAP Easy Access and click on this little Control F11 SAP main menu. And next we're ready for our goods receipt. So we'll go into the SAP main menu, and the goods receipt, when we verify that the goods were shipped in response to the purchase order, when we receive those goods, we can have a goods receipt transaction. This will specify the quantity and storage locations for the items received. So we're going to go into SAP main menu, logistics. We'll go into materials management. We'll go into inventory management. We'll go into goods movement. We'll go into goods receipt. We'll go into for purchase order. PO number known, MIGO, which the PO number is known. We're going to add that to favorites. And the purchase order, we can enter in our purchase order that we had into the purchase order area. Remember, we wrote that down before. And it should, once we enter in 45, it should pull up our item. We're going to click the enter button and see everything pulls in. The item OK, we want to select those over here. But we can see that on the Where tab, if we go into, it's letting us enter all of them. This one can, this one can tend to be a bit tricky because we're wanting to get into the Where tab for the elbow pads. Oops, what did I do wrong here? Elbow pads is not allowing me to do this. Elbow pads should be down here, but it's not. Usually I come down here. Oh yeah, there it is. So then I can enter that one. Yeah, you have to, I think you have to close the detailed information. Okay, so we finally got it down there. I don't know why. And we're going to click save to post this. And you should get a message that says material document, and whatever your document number is, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros, 60 has been posted. The reason why I was rejecting that is that we hadn't approved or put the item OK down here, but that's a common error that I make and then a lot of the students in the class make as well. So we come back to the SAP Easy Access menu and do a quick menu refresh. And the next one we're going to do is we're going to receive the invoice. In this step, you will receive the invoice from the vendor against the purchase order and that we previously created. This is called the invoice verification. Remember, this is the three-way match where we're wanting to match the purchase order to the goods receipt and the invoice, and that three-way match will produce a good control to make sure that we're not paying something that we shouldn't pay. If the invoice is correct, that means within the tolerances that we set up, the financial accounting transactions will be created. We're going to debit GRIR and create the accounts payable at this point in time. And in the last part of the procurement process and the testing, I'll kind of go through and do some surfing to find all of these accounting entries that we're looking for. So we're going to go into the SAP main menu. We're going to go into logistics. We're going to go into materials management. Purchasing. We'll go into purchase order. We'll go into follow-on functions. Logistics invoice verification, or MIRO. We'll go into MIRO, Logistics Invoice Verification Process, and we're going to enter in the invoice date of the current date, which is F4 and F2. We're going to enter in the amount of 7050. We're going to enter into the purchase order number, the purchase order, and it should pull up the purchase order that we have. We're going to click on enter, and then we can simulate, and if our debits equal our credits, there's no balance, we can post it from here. Don't click this hold because then it's going to hold the document, but you can post from here, which is going to create a document number, and you should get document NO 510560. And then you'll have to write down the rest of it, created. And we will stop this demo here and take it back with the payment of the vendor and just surf around to find the transactions. Thank you.